Fellow parents, hark my call. Are you tired of sleepless nights with your little ones? What works for a parent in creating a good bedtime routine for their child might not work for the next. Every child is different, every journey completely singular. And this morning we're going to chat to Kelly Gagan, a pediatric sleep consultant and founder of Sleepy Stars, who helps parents across the world who want to gently guide their babies onto a sleep routine without the use of sleep training, which doesn't sound very parental. She's worked with many of the biggest names, really, when we talk about news. Novak Djokovic to former rugby player CJ Stander in the realm of parenting, and she is finally here in Cape Town for 2 in-person seminars, the Let's Get Started and Nova seminars, and she'll be sharing some of her expertise and insights, and hopefully just helping us get a good night's sleep. And of course, we'll be tracking some comments on Facebook, or you can use our WhatsApp line if you've got any questions. This is a very rare and inexpensive opportunity. 063-408-406, rather, 8863. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh boy, doesn't life get real when you're exhausted?
Absolutely.
It's the great regulator of the human condition, because we all fall apart.
Yeah.
When we haven't had enough sleep. And obviously we have a special connection to sleep being a breakfast show where I've gotten up at between 3:30 and 4:30 for the longest time. But when you have a child, everything changes.
Absolutely.
I want to know your relationship to sleep. Were you sleep deprived? Were you really good at sleeping? What led you to this path?
Well, it's a bit of a story how I came into this, but I actually function on very minimum sleep. So I have a twin sister, and don't look at her until she's had 3 coffees in the morning. But I can jump out of bed at 5 a.m., no problem. And I think that helped me when I was traveling the world with families. But everyone has different sleep requirements, but sleep is as important as nutrition for adults and for children.
Absolutely essential in their development as well. But we know when that young mind and body is growing, so much is happening when they're not awake and conscious in that space. So I think there was this added pressure. But it's almost like when a parent becomes, you're not given a handbook on all the really tough stuff. Everyone's got all the advice you don't really need, but that's surviving the sleep. And I think understanding that you can operate on less sleep is a major thing. Why is this so difficult, though? I joked about every child being different, but everyone's journey is going to be a separate kind of solution.
Well, it can be difficult because, as you said, when you leave the hospital with baby, it's bye. There's no instruction manual. It's figure that one out. So I feel like it's important for parents to know it's okay to ask for help. So that's my hashtag. It's okay to ask for help, because a lot of the emails we get at 4 a.m., they're desperate. They're like, hi, I haven't slept in 9 months. Hi, I haven't slept in 2 years. Don't wait till you reach that point to reach out. By all means, it's okay. But there are things you can do to preempt that. So that's one of the reasons why I created the Let's Get Started course, because it educates parents on doing little things that can make a big difference down the line.
And it's that practicality. I think when you're in survival mode, and that's often what we switch into when we are sleep deprived, you need a first step. You don't need a 20-step plan to save the world. You just need, how am I going to get through the next 5 minutes?
Exactly.
That being said, these are vital 5 minutes, and it's wrapped up in this conversation of success or failure as a parent, especially for a mom. If you haven't got a complete grasp and control on that, it feels like in some way, and hence depression gets wrapped up into that kind of conversation. But why is it so important? Why do kids need that sleep at that phase?
Well, they need it to protect their immune system, for their brain development, but also parents need it so that they can function as well. It can get to a dangerous state where a parent is surviving on minimum sleep, and that mentally, it can affect them and cause depression. So yeah, it's important for child and parent, but little things from early on can make such a big difference. And years ago, it was a dirty little secret. Nobody heard about me. You'd be in the playground and a mom would, whisper, go, call this person. But now it's kind of like people are saying, oh, you got to get on this. So start from early on. Don't wait until you reach breaking point. But also, years ago, your mom lived next door and your sister lived down the road. Now our families are just spread around the world. So you don't have that family right next door in most cases to give you a hand. And when they do come and visit, not always the advice that you're looking for.
Exactly. And I think there's nothing quite like, and I'll find this, my amazing sister has a baby girl now. Nothing quite like being able to hand the child back
Yes.
and just step away from the problem. We're going to get into some of those practical steps on what you can do as a parent if you're wrapped up in this nightmare right now. And I use that term lightly, but I know how intense it can actually get. And the crazy thing is, if you look at all the major disasters throughout history, what's been the common thread? Sleep deprivation. It can matter more than you think. But we've got an opportunity for you guys. You can win one of 2 tickets for you and your partner to At Sleepy Stars Let's Get Started seminar here in the Mother City. Tell us, first of all, how old is your beautiful baby and what is your biggest sleeping issue right now? And you have to include that hashtag Sleepy Stars in that answer. The competition closes at midday today, so get on that. But you can find all the terms and conditions on expressoshow.com. And as always, use that hashtag Expresso Show. We continue to talk getting our babies into a healthy sleeping routine in just a moment.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we continue our chat with Kelly Gagan, an international pediatric sleep consultant, about her movement. It's okay to ask for help. How many times have we echoed that statement on the show over the last couple of years? We want to hear from you as well. Do you need help with creating a good and healthy sleep routine for you and your baby? Because you're in the same ecosystem. So thank you so much for joining us. Before we get into some of the questions this morning, just very quickly, when you approach this isn't sleep training.
Yep.
It's about creating a routine. So can you just break down exactly what it is you do within your framework?
So the main thing is the day must be complementary to the night. If your day is not in a good place, your nights are not going to be a good place. So people think it's just night sleep. It's not. It's your naps. It's your feeds.
It's the build-up.
It's the milk, whether it's breast milk, formula, solids, whatever. They need to be in the right place so that you can expect to have good nights. Often the naps are too short, maybe too early in the day or too long. So the timing is off, which means that the child is either not tired enough or in a viciously overtired state. And overtiredness can lead to multiple wake-ups before midnight.
Yeah, it's stimulating
and
in a
very
weird way,
early starts
yeah.
the next day. People think, oh, I'll keep them up, late and they'll sleep later in the morning. No, the opposite happens. So.
You've put this to the test with some of the biggest names I mentioned, Novak Djokovic, people like that, where I would imagine routine is very different
Yes.
on that level. How long does it take to start achieving results before you have to go to the
So the courses that I do, parents see results within 7 to 10 days. So everything starts to click, so starts to get better. So it's not 3 days, wave a magic wand.
For sure.
7 to 10 days. And I've flown around the world doing this for families. It's like, hey, will you go to Barbados and put this baby on a routine? I fly in, I help baby on a routine, not sleep training. They're in the sling, they're in the stroller, I'm helping them. I'm helping set their body clock. And then once it clicks, I'm like, okay, now I can put you into the crib because I know you sleep at that time. So it's very much working off the circadian rhythm, the body clock.
Sure, and that can be different for every child. I'm just thinking of the paparazzi trying to figure out who you are while you're walking around with these famous people's babies. Let's have a little look at some of our social media comments. We've got, actually, Tamsin has weighed in through our WhatsApp line. Let's hear from Tamsin.
Just read it. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question for Kelly. My baby's 10 weeks old. I'm not sure if she's going through a growth spurt at the moment, but if she is, does this affect the routine with regards to sleep, the sleep routine and feeding as well? Thank you.
I think she said around 10 weeks.
Around 10 weeks, yeah.
We go from leap to leap to leap, and those mental leaps do bring about a change. What could be driving it at around this kind of age? This
So
is pretty
if your
young, yeah.
baby's routine is already kind of falling into place, you won't see much of a difference. You'll see slight more hunger and a little bit more alertness during that time, but it usually settles down after 3 to 5 days. So it's only a very temporary thing. And sometimes you don't realize it until you're almost through the other side.
Yeah,
You're like,
retrospectively. Yeah,
yes, exactly. So, but things shouldn't change drastically through those times. You may need to offer maybe another mini top-up feed, and baby
Hunger.
maybe more alert and aware during those times.
Yeah, and I think we train the hunger into them, and then often wonder why they are hungry when they aren't getting given the food that we have put to them. And then we've had some great comments and questions come through on our social media platforms. Munya Didswa saying this, asking this, how do I keep my baby asleep for a longer time during the night month? He is 7 months old at the moment. So that's quite an exciting time where they are really activating.
Yeah.
So how do we maintain that
So
continuity?
we have to look at how baby goes to sleep initially at the beginning of the night. So if we rock baby to sleep, their brain needs to be rocked back to sleep, okay? So whatever activates sleep, they need to stay in Sleepy Town. So whatever stamps your ticket to Sleepy Town, you needed to
Just
stay
call
there.
it Sleepy Town.
Sleepy
That's
Town.
really sweet.
So if you use the pacifier, the soother, and that falls out, parents say, it's not the pacifier. You know, that triggered sleep. So baby needs it again. And as the night goes on, the sleep pressure gets lower and lower. So what worked at 1, 2, and 3 a.m. at 4, 5, and 6 ain't working anymore. And you go up a level of assistance, which usually means another feed. But we're feeding a baby who's not hungry. And now, as you said, we're creating a hunger habit at that time. A 7-month-old, generally speaking, would need in and around an hour sleep in the morning, in and around 2.5 hours in the afternoon, and quiet time in the evening, or a 20-minute cat nap in the evening to bridge the gap to bedtime. So that's all covered on the Nova course that I do. So, but yeah, it can really depend. If you want your baby to sleep longer, the day must be complementary to the nights, but also look at how baby's going to sleep at bedtime.
Those are the little life hacks, because you'll start to figure it out. And as much as you then struggle with letting go of those mechanisms when you need to kind of reorganize the sleep pattern, there is a reason why these things work. We absolutely love a life hack in this space. Then Kaylin Lee Brown weighed in with this question. Hi there, I would like to know what routine I can set up for my 2-month-old baby to sleep at least a few hours through the night, because he is awake more during the hours of midnight than during the day.
Okay. So doing little things like setting the circadian rhythm, like go outside in the day and tell the brain that this is daytime, and at nighttime, all lights off. And you may say, well, I just have a night light so I can see the baby. Well, if you can see baby can see you.
And get information into the brain.
We want complete darkness. You know, if you need to attend to baby, the torch off your phone placed down somewhere beside you is enough light for you to function in. So make that day-night kind of association very early on. All my maternity babies have slept through by 12 weeks old. No sleep training and no regressions. Wow. None of them ever regressed. And that's what I teach on the Let's Get Started. So it's all about gently guiding baby towards routine, feeds and sleeps in the right place. And those multiple wake-ups will definitely reduce.
And you'll probably only see it after 2 or 3 weeks. I think that's the nature of this. When you're in the battle, it's very difficult to see your successes until you look back. But I always see it as a battle between the blue and the green light. If you can get outside into the sunshine with the green around you versus the blue of the... And it's amazing how just diminishing the blue light influence has made a massive, massive change. One last comment. Elaine Krige, my 2-year-old, is experiencing sleep regression after his brother was born 2 weeks ago. He keeps on waking up at night, wanting a bottle, wanting to sleep in another bed or even the couch. Their rhythm's been thrown all out of whack with a new baby.
I'm going to say that it wasn't the new baby. This was going to happen. Okay, so there's a huge leap around 16 months, and the next big one is between 2 and 2.5 years. So even if baby didn't rock into this world, this little guy, there's obviously a door left open with regards to sleep assistance. If your child needs a bottle to go back asleep, there's a good chance that your little guy is having a bottle very close to sleep. So that means that the brain needs the same in order to go back to sleep. So disconnect it, still have it, it's a lovely association, but don't let Baba have the bottle in the crib or falling too sleepy on it, because that can cause problems. So it's very much a developmental leap. It just coincided with the next Baba arriving into the world.
We absolutely love that. I'm going to keep you around all day if I possibly can. Thankfully, I'm moving out of this particular phase of parenting, but I know from my own very real experience how real it can get. So that's all for today's show, folks. You can go straight back to bed. Now, I hope you did find this as enlightening as I did. There is help out there. You just need to ask for it. And don't forget that you can win one of 2 tickets for you and your partner to At Sleepy Stars Let's Get Started seminar in Cape Town. It's a practical start to the process that will reap rewards in almost a week. That's incredible. So tell us how old your baby is and what your biggest sleeping issue is right now, and include that hashtag #SleepyStars in your answer. The competition closes at 12 p.m. today. You can find all the terms and conditions on expressoshow.com. It's time to book your ticket to Sleepy Town. I love the sound of that. I'm going to Sleepy Town straight after the show. I promise you. You're a superstar. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It's been lovely.